Hi everyone, I'm Rukmani Kaur. I'm a spiritual teacher, a medium, and a channeler. So in this video, I'd like to share like a personal story with you, and then going into how you can work with your darkness. You know, it's being a trend in my experience and what I've seen around too, that we just want to push away our darkness. And we just think that the light is better, right? So it's like, work with the light, go towards the light, push away the darkness, that's bad. But in reality, nothing's good, nothing's bad. It's just how it is, you know? So when we have that duality that happens in the fourth dimension, right? When it starts to split into good or bad, negative and positive, then we kind of narrow ourselves and we put ourselves in a little box. So, I will go into sharing because it will go into like how as well you can do this, how you can work with your darkness rather than pushing it away. Because truly, when you push away your darkness, you're pushing away yourself, you know? It's not that we're just dark or light, we're both combined, like yin and yang, you know, like the symbol is perfect. And the eye of the storm in the middle, it blows my mind every time I look at it. So I've been sharing like so many of my trances in past videos, that you can check them out as well, and how my physical body has been healed. And I'm still in the process, right? And I feel like the process of awakening and in this process of life, it's not just like one thing, you know, it's a continuous growth, and it continues to go and go. And who knows, maybe there is one top step. However, for now, it's just like we continue to go and go and go higher and higher. So I don't really get into really intense trances as much as I used to last year when I lived in Cusco. But once in a while it happens. Sometimes they're like very gentle, and sometimes they're very intense. The intense ones don't really happen as often as they did, but they did happen once we arrived back to our home here in Colombia a couple weeks ago. And well, I had this tendency, and this is something that I share also in one of the videos, that I used to use my strength, like everything in me, to push something out of my system. Which, yeah, it served its purpose and it left me pooped out, like I share in some of the videos. But there was this instance where it was part of the same trance, honestly. And my boyfriend came and facilitated the space for me, and then he left the room and closed the door, and I was in complete darkness. It was pitch black, honestly, and I had my eyes closed, and I felt and heard so many beings moving around and making all these noises, and it scared me. It really scared me, because it took me back into my childhood, where maybe this is part of our culture, you know, but I was born and raised in Lima, Peru. So I was in my room in Lima, and for so long, I had to go to bed with my lamp on. And then I think my parents will turn it off. I don't even remember. But I couldn't sleep with the light off, because I'd be so afraid that something was underneath my bed, or something was gonna come out of somewhere in my closet and like come at me or something, you know. And it was a really deep fear, very, very intense fear. And you know, when you're a kid, maybe that's normality, who knows, you know. But nobody explained those things to me growing up. So it took me to that space, and I began to freak out. So with my eyes closed, because I was so afraid to open up my eyes, I opened the door of the room to let some light in, and I immediately felt like, whew. So my boyfriend came in again to the room, and well, he sat right next to me, and I started to hear this message. It's like, you must go through this alone. You must face this, and he can't be with you. You know, it's something that you have to do by yourself, for yourself. And he sits down, and I share with him how completely scared I was as a young kid of the darkness. And I was crying, you know, because I was feeling this so deeply. And I said, but I just received a message. I have to do this alone, you know. So when you get out of the room, can you please close the door? he kissed me in the head and then he like left because that was a mess. So I sat in the middle of the bed, had my eyes closed, and I began to feel everything else moving around. And it just triggered this thing in my mind that it was like something bad, and all these things are moving and are about to like come and get at me. And so then it clicked, that I had been pushing my own darkness away. It was almost like the light bulb went off, and it's like, holy smokes, what do you think you have been pushing away? Like it wasn't like, of course some things were, but like at this moment in time, it wasn't something that you had to release, but it was your own darkness. And it blew my mind. It completely blew my mind because I didn't think I was doing that, I felt that I was like pretty good at acknowledging what was like pinpointed in my system to take it out and what was part of me as a whole organism. And so then immediately I was calm and I started to talk to my own darkness, and I said, I like to work with you, and I would like for you to come back into me and be whole again. The moment I said that, all those things stopped. And she began to like, I'm just gonna call her she. She began to talk back, and saying that like I had been pushing her away for so long that I didn't love her, I didn't appreciate it, and I thought that it was something bad. But all along she just wanted to play, all along she just wanted to be acknowledged, and all along she wanted to be loved. Which is a concept that sometimes perhaps we don't get, because we hear so much, like I was saying at the beginning of the video, like go towards the light, or like light workers and all these things, but we come from the dark. And especially in awakening, in this process, like you are coming from the darkness and from everything that has been pushed upon you or you grabbed and then just put you in this hole. But that hole, that darkness is the one thing that gives you so much strength for you to go higher, for you to try it or to want to experience new things and to go back to center. So I apologized and I said, I'm so sorry. I had no idea. I didn't know what I was doing. And truly, like everything that I heard as a kid, it just freaked me out, and it just made this thing so clear: dark is bad. And because of all the experiences I've had too with dark magic, that some people were throwing cords into me and sucking my energy. So of course I'm gonna see it as a bad thing because, what was done to me. But it didn't mean that she was bad. She was just wanting to be accepted, like we all want to be accepted. So I asked her if she could come back into me and work as unity, and I extended my right palm and she came through me, and it was one of the most beautiful experiences that I had. And also more of like, oh, you're back. You're back, you're not divided, you're back, and you feel so good, you feel so whole, and it's wonderful. So I'm sharing this with you because we do have the tendency to say this is bad and this is good, and to push truly our darkness out because it hurts, right? We all have had those experiences that just hurt so deeply, and we don't even know how to deal with them. And then once we get out of them, it's like, no way, we're not going back to that. That sucked. Which, yeah, it did suck. Trust me, I went through a massive depression and I was suicidal. I know it sucked, but without that depression, I wouldn't be here making this video, and I would have had all the experiences that I had that led me to this moment in time. And so there's so much beauty in our own darkness, you know, and there's so much power, there's so much strength. And if we know how to merge it with our light, we can work together, you know, and like everything in existence, it does want to be loved and it does want to be acknowledged. And it wants to feel like it belongs, you know, that it exists, that it's something important. So if you find yourself really going through these things about your own darkness, you know, or like being in a sense afraid or not knowing how to go into that one memory that created so much pain, know that that memory has created this big portal for you to sit in that space and grow. And if you're scared of going into that, speak to your darkness, you know, speak to it. It's not going to harm you, you know. Your darkness loves you so much as your light. They both have so much unconditional love for us all. So begin to speak to it, and perhaps your own darkness will lead you onto how to release those patterns and how to let go of that pain and suffering of that one memory. And you will be surprised, because let me tell you that I'm mind blown every single day by the power that we have within. Every single day something happens in my life that I'm like, whoa, if we all knew we had this, you know how different the world would be? If we all share our experiences and what made us grow and how we changed different aspects of our life in order to like be free from suffering, the world will be a way different place than it is now. But this is why we share, right? This is why we put the camera on. This is why we post on social media, because we know deep inside we're doing something very right. And if we can share the little tip that we have and help somebody, it truly gives so much wealth to our being, you know, so much wealth. I know it does for me. I know it does for me. So thanks for listening. I hope this like helped you in a sense to understand your own darkness and know that it's not a bad thing, that you can always go into it, you can work with it just like with the light, right? And it's a beautiful aspect of who you are. And imagine, rather than just working with the light, if you work with both of them at the same time and then can guide you into different things, whoa, the possibilities are endless, like they normally are anyway. But it's a much beautiful route and a much beautiful way of getting to know yourself, truly, because then you're accepting both sides of you. And it's not saying you're bad, you're good. It's like, you guys are dope. Let's work together. Thanks for watching. I love you guys so much. Please like my video if this resonated with you. Help me spread my message and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you soon. Many blessings.